So I quit my job. I rented a yurt in a forest along the Oregon coast and I decided to start a YouTube channel. I had known for a while that I wanted to quit my job. I just hadn't anticipated it happening so abruptly and through events beyond my control. But during my time on the coast, I spent much of it writing in my journal and reflected on my life and how I hadn't been living it in alignment with my true and authentic self. Maybe because it was the start of Leo season at this time, and Leo is all about self-expression, creativity, and the inner child. But I felt the resonance of my own inner child coming through and reminding me of my past life and who I once had been. When I was in high school, I was constantly expressing who I was through my creativity. I spent hours writing stories, painting, and I made videos with my friends and uploaded them to YouTube. These videos brought me immense joy to make, and I did them just because they made me happy. But when the time came to take the ACTs and begin to apply for colleges, everyone around me seemed so sure about their next move, and I didn't think that being a creative was sensible or wise. So I stopped making art, and I became lost. So there is this goddess in yoga, her name is Kali, and she is the goddess of destruction and change and death, transformation. And I just keep thinking about her presence in my life through this massive change. And the way that I see her is like all of this change is just her as this universal force just plowing through like a gust of wind and creating this almost like wind tunnel. And then her looking back at me and kind of asking, like, are you going to go through this tunnel that I just created for you? And this is the vision that I keep getting. And while I'm on this hike, coming to all of these realizations, I find her tunnel. That kept coming up to me in my visions. This weekend spent in deep reflection in a forest along the coast made me realize that through this abrupt change, life was giving me permission to create the visions, the art, and the life that I had in mind by walking down this new path in front of me. And all that was left was to give myself permission to do so. So I just left my job, picked up all my stuff, said goodbye to everyone, and expressed my gratitude because I didn't want to leave on a sour note. I left that space, and as I left that space, I felt like I was walking directly into my dreams, and that's what I was telling the physical therapist there. I was like, I think it's time for me to just start following my dreams. And I went to the typewriter store across the street, and I like to say that I've made friends with the owner. I don't know if he would say the same thing, but I'm sure he enjoys seeing me there. And when I went in, I told him, like, hey, yeah, I'm leaving the job across the street. And he's like, where are you headed? And I was like, in the direction of my dreams. It just felt like I was leaving that space that no longer served me, and I walked directly across the street and I asserted that, like, hey, I want to work on this project with you. And it just felt like I was beginning and ending and beginning, and just finally going towards my identity as a writer. And now I'm actually going to go into the library and scan this poem to send to the editor of Bicoastal Review, because 2 of my poems are being published today. And funny enough, I actually left that space at noon when the poems went live, so check it out. For my birthday this year, my job had given me a gift card to an art supply store after I found a bunch of canvas around the city and told the owner that I wanted to paint over them in white and just create new art on top of it. And the day that I actually went to go pick up all of my stuff at work, I drove to that art store and bought a large tub of white acrylic to cover up the canvas. And I called the project Begin Again as a way to honor my own journey as well as the journey of the canvas. As I painted, there was definitely some healing going on with my inner teenager. When I was in high school, I used to paint a lot, and I kind of just stopped painting altogether. But now, I think painting is one of my favorite hobbies. I'm definitely not great, but I'm just so unaffected by the outcome and not attached at all. And this is the one art form where there is no perfectionism, and I just enter a state of flow and bliss with the creative process itself. Yet another transition in the midst of all of this change was moving into a new home about 3 blocks away from my last place. This is my 4th time moving in 2 years, and while that has been a lot, I'm pretty hopeful that this home will be one that I can settle into for the foreseeable future and really make into my own. So I'm really grateful. So I am all moved in to my new space. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm settled in. There's still so much unpacking to do, and I've been really thinking about how ever since moving back home 2 years ago, I've moved about 3 times, and that's a lot to move, and I'm really hoping that this last transition is one where I can just really settle, and I'm feeling very confident in that. It seems almost like these last 2 years were just major change after major change, and all that change was truly to, one, help me grow, to allow me to release so much that was just not serving me and not in alignment, and really to just re-transition me onto this new path and to get me exactly here. Since I've moved, I got a new job opportunity to write. Another very, very exciting update about me is that I got accepted into a poetry program. I have been working on my portfolio for the past year so I can get into this program. I'm hoping that this program will really help me to strengthen my voice and allow for the complexities of my thoughts and my experience to be tangible sentences and poems. I don't know, I'm just really excited when I found out that, one, I got a job that I'm really, really stoked for, and 2, I got into that poetry program, and I have this like beautiful home. I feel so immensely blessed to have this new home where I'm not moving into someone else's home. Like, I'm moving into a blank slate. Like, this is my office and it's completely blank. I still haven't put the cork board up. It's ready to be made into something by me, so I can put my own little touch on it. Like, I'm moving into a space that is mine, and it feels so good. There's just so many blessings in my life right now, and I just keep thinking, like, as scary as it was to leave that job, I knew it was the right thing, and I didn't know how or when or all the components, but I knew it was going to work out somehow, and I just had to trust the changes, and I've done so. And it's working out. Lastly, I did this like pretty spontaneous thing. I purchased a new camera for my videos and my photos. So I got it like a couple weeks ago, but I didn't want to switch like which camera I was using for this video. So in my next video, the quality will be a lot better. Yesterday, I got all my film back from like the last 4 months, but especially for this video. So if you are interested in seeing more of those photos and how they turned out, you can go ahead and check out my newsletter. The link will be in the bio. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.